true crime audiences have another hit on their hands to watch. Friends Like These, The Murder of Skylar Neese, from director Claire Titley, Dr. Rob Ambrosini. I mean, Claire, I was not familiar with this story. Were you familiar before you signed on as director?
I wasn't familiar, but actually quite soon after taking on the project, I realized that actually quite a considerable amount had actually already been done on that case. And I think that was one of the challenges for us really was kind of how to retell this story from a different, from a fresh perspective.
Such a sad, tragic story for this young girl. Dr. Rob, talk to us about your involvement and kind of give us the brief overview on this case.
Yeah, so in 2012, around July, Skylar goes missing. The last folks to see her are her two best friends. And through a course of interviews that were conducted by local police, state troopers, FBI, well before I became involved in the case, they realized something is quite not really adding up here, right? Which ultimately culminates to a confession, and that brought my involvement in, to conduct one of the interviews. But there was so much work done as soon as they found out that Skylar was missing. There was so much investigative work and leads done by the local police and the state police and the FBI agents assigned to it early on, and I was just brought in as a collateral resource for them.
And you obviously have the family's blessing in this, having both parents interviewed in this. Claire, what was it like kind of talking with them and getting their blessing to tell Skylar's story?
It's it's always kind of heartbreaking when you speak to somebody who's lost a child because it's kind of like the worst tragedy that none of us can possibly imagine. Um, but I feel like it was been a real honor though to interview her family and her community. And one of the strangest feelings that I have kind of leaving this series in a way is the fact that I feel like I know Skylar so well, even though I of course kind of never got an opportunity to meet her. And for me that's very sad.
Such a sad story. Dr. Rob, I mean, this story also tells a lot about social media with teens. There's so much legislation going on across the country dealing with social media and how teens should be involved. Is it leading to things like this? What do you hope people take away from watching this and getting their parents involved, knowing, hey, I need to know what my kids are doing on social media?
Well, you identified the most important thing is that parents really have to know what's going on social media. And when you watch the series, you'll see kind of this dawn of social media, and I want to say infancy, but it's really emerging into what it becomes now. But on social media today, there are a lot of groups that want to cause harm to youngsters, right? You have, different type of nihilistic violent offenders out there, sadistic violent offenders. They encourage folks to engage in self-harm and things like that. And you want parents to really look for behavioral changes, talk to them like, hey, who are you communicating with? What apps do you have? What are you using? And there's a lot of good work being done at the local FBI offices all over the country, to give awareness to these things. So you can certainly call the offices and get briefings from them, and they work with local police. But spot on, it requires a lot from parents to kind of monitor and say, hey, what are we seeing here? What are you using? And being aware of any types of behavioral changes.
It's such an important message that I hope parents take away from watching this. And Claire, you kind of take a different approach to this story, telling Skylar's story using a voice actor, kind of recreating Skylar's voice and her messages. What was that process like to just kind of know you wanted to go that route and have Skylar be a very big presence in this story?
We knew from the start we wanted her to have some agency in telling her own story, which is a difficult thing to do when you're dealing with somebody who has gone. But she did leave behind this kind of archive, I suppose, of tweets and messages and writings that her parents were very generous to sort of share with us. So we had this opportunity to really give her voice back, and that's what we wanted to do. It's easy to say we want to make a it victim centered, but it's much harder to do. And we really, really put a lot of effort into making sure that we did that every single step of the way in this series.
It's such a great integration into this story. Dr. Rob, we had a very similar case here in Indianapolis recently involving a girl named Haley Busby. She was a Fisher's girl, 16 years old. She got taken and was abducted. She met a guy online. He took her to Ohio. He's accused of killing her. I mean, that's still going through the legal process, but I'm watching this and thinking so much about that story and kind of how the system failed her, where yes, she left on her own accord, but kind of similar to how Skylar was, the Amber Alert system didn't help protect. There's no system, even because they saw she left willingly. What did you hope, like, this story changed that there in West Virginia? I mean, talk about that a little bit.
Well, the impact of this case, I think, is significant. Of course, in West Virginia now we have Skylar's Law, which allows those very important Amber Alerts to be sent out and dispatched. And you see that evidence today, right? Whether it's a runaway or a suspected kidnapping, they're going to get that crucial information out. So that's a significant result of this, of Skylar's legacy. And then really it also speaks to the interagency cooperation that you have to have in these types of cases, right? The FBI, they're brought in as a resource to local agencies, and they provide a lot of resources to it. And you have other group organizations like Team Adam and things like that come out and really try to assist locals. So yeah, her legacy really is this Skylar's Law, which is a tangible result of that.
It's so great that you guys have that there. I hope we can get that across the country. And I mean, America has a fascination with true crime. Claire, what is that? I mean, there's podcasts, there's TV shows, there's recreations, there's documentaries like this. I mean, what do you think everyone's fascination with? Because I obviously love true crime, but it's getting these stories told as well.
It is getting these stories told. And I think what we were very keen to do was, everybody wants to be a sort of an armchair sleuth, absolutely, but with this series we wanted people to also really identify with Skylar and with her friends, and to put our audience in that kind of position. We tried very hard to kind of recreate a sort of a teen world as much as we possibly can, so that audiences could really feel what it was like to be 16 in 2012 and come at it from that angle as much as it is from the investigative angle.
Thank you so much for sharing Skylar's story. Friends Like These, all 3 episodes on March 6th on Hulu. Claire, Dr. Rob, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.